Well, everyone, it's here. The last 2 months of staying up late, not eating well, and just outright not taking very good care of my health have all led to this game. Now, this is not a full review, just a quick take of sorts, so don't worry about spoilers. I don't want to take away from the surprise of the story and a lot of the fun gameplay elements, but I want to try to give you a basic idea of what the game does well, what I thought of it, and if it's worth $60 to buy right now. First and foremost, the thing that everyone really wants to hear about, web swinging. This is by far the best web swinging I've experienced in a game thus far. The animations are designed in such a way that you feel the full weight and velocity behind each and every moment, and the momentum never lets up. Now, here's the strange part. The mechanics are controlled a little differently than before, but it's a little hard to explain without experiencing it for yourself. What I can say is that while it might seem strange at first, it does not take long to get used to it, and you'll be pulling off some great looking superhero travel in no time. What helps is that the game never lets anything get in your way. If you hold the right trigger while moving forward, Spider-Man won't just shoot a web to swing from, he'll run on surfaces and maneuver around obstacles, keeping up the pace and allowing the action to stay front and center. Speaking of action though, this is also some of the best combat I've seen in a Spider-Man game. On the surface, it seems very similar to what's in the Batman Arkham games, but there's a key difference that revolves around avoiding damage. Instead of having a counter button like the Caped Crusader, Spider-Man has a dodge button. Dodging allows Spider-Man to not only get out of the way of danger, but sometimes even get behind enemies for a better vantage point. This helps keep the combat moving, but you can't just rely on countering either. You're always responsible for not only getting out of the way, but also dealing damage to enemies. You can also zip across any battlefield to catch up with an enemy and knock him around, and by successfully dodging and landing hits on opponents, you can fill up Spider-Man's focus gauge. When the focus gauge is filled up, it can be used to instantly take down basic enemies or even heal Spider-Man in the midst of battle. The wall crawler also has these little gadgets that he can use in battle, making him as versatile as you could ever hope. Spidey flows incredibly well over the battlefield and can even use this environment to his advantage to get the jump on enemies. He's also quite adept at stealth, and the web head works incredibly well as he silently creeps around the shadows and uses his webs to get the attention of guards before taking them out. It all looks great too. I can't report on any alleged downgrades or upgrades in the game's visual quality, but no matter how many puddles are present, this is an incredible looking game. Spider-Man's suits, the environment, the effects, and that incredible lighting has been given an impressive amount of detail. The attention given to the game's presentation is nothing short of incredible. There's a great amount of ways to make Spider-Man look different too, with alternate costumes, but I'd rather not reveal them all here in this video. The sound design is impeccable as well. I love the original score composed for the game, lending a majestic and exciting feeling whenever swinging around the city, beating up bad guys, or experiencing the story. The narrative is one of my favorite aspects of the game too. The story is paced well and reaches some great stakes. It builds up encounters with several fun villains, and taking all of them out is a blast, with each one feeling exciting and monumental. I'm afraid I can't speak too much on the story here, but what I can say is that it is written to take full advantage of Spider-Man as a character and creates its own universe where it can find interesting ways to portray a lot of fan favorite characters and even establishes some new origins for them. Peter Parker is a very well realized character in this game, and it feels like Peter is never lost behind his mask. You can feel the humanity in him through his Spider-Man persona, and it helps you feel for him even more as the story progresses and things only get tougher and tougher on him. There is one element of the narrative I feel slightly conflicted on. It's hard to talk about without giving too much away, but there will be moments in the game's story when the control is taken away from Spider-Man and directed to other characters in sections that have some great benefits in terms of storytelling and are actually quite well designed, but there were times when it just felt like they were shoehorned into the moment, especially when the game forces the player into a flashback in order for the section to even take place. Still, they are interesting and fun to play through. I just wish that there were maybe one or two less of them, and that they were integrated into the story just a bit more organically. There's still so much left to be said about Marvel's Spider-Man, between the sheer amount of activities in New York itself and how much the open world mechanics, funny and well-written dialogue, and story all captivate you, sending you on a fun, exciting, and even emotional thrill ride. Possibly my favorite Spider-Man game, though I'd like to give it a little bit of time and look on it again in retrospect. There's plenty more I'd like to say about Marvel's Spider-Man, but that will have to wait for my spoiler-filled, more in-depth review coming soon. I suppose for now I should say that, yes, I do recommend the game and think it's fully worth buying at full price. I wanted to try to get the full analysis video out this weekend, but honestly, looking back on the past 2 months of making this marathon and seeing how my audience has grown by recommendation of my buddy over at YN section, or just looking for more Spider-Man content, I want to do right by all of you who have supported me in making all of this happen. I'm also incredibly exhausted. I haven't been sleeping much, I haven't been eating right, and I still have plenty of other responsibilities to attend to, so I might need a couple of days to recharge. Ideally, I can provide you all with the next video in about a week or so. I want to take my time, not rush through the process, and give you guys a video of the highest quality I can manage. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching, everyone. See you next mission.
Thank you for playing. Would you like to try again?